Solomon Islands and Malita in that context is a society that believes in, things other than just material things. Believe in their ancestors, believe in the existence of spirits and the relations between people and that cosmetic world, where it gives us the opportunity to develop principles that are supportive of future generations. Moralities that guide us not to go beyond, thresholds of resources. So we believe in that realm of things, whereas, as we understand it, the communist system of government, although the Taiwanese model, the Chinese model have now encouraged, capitalism in terms of investment and private ownership and all that, but there is still lacking in terms of allowing people to freely do the things they best think they should do, rather than being controlled by an artificial creativity. For us, government is just something that comes yesterday. We are indigenous society so long before the government arrives, and we want to keep the kind of stability in our society. We don't want other powerful people to come with their system, and that would destroy our way of thinking, way of affiliation, way of seeing things. So that's the fear, or I would say that's the kind of thinking that we hold so dear to our hearts, that we don't want a system of government that would end up, take our properties, take our land, take our sea. So if communist is known for that, then we don't want that. We want a system of government that respects us, that we can engage and respond to the needs of the people, not the needs of the government. The industry that has actually weakened everything in the Solomons is the logging industry. Of course, the market is in China, but that market fuels the destructions in the Solomons without any regard to ensure that the resources in the Solomons can be harvested to a market in a more responsible way, rather than just very destructive as we have experienced. So if you can see that in that angle, compare that to Taiwan, who has been in the Solomons and tried to build things like the Taiwanese farm to transfer the knowledge and the skill to the common people, and that knowledge and skills should be empower the people to engage in these enterprises. So that's the difference. So far, we have seen what the Chinese government is doing is supporting the national government in terms, for instance, huge amount of money is poured into the Pacific Game infrastructure. Well, Solomon Islands is one of the least developed countries in the economic index. Building a stadium like that with huge amount of money will not sprinkle down to affect the lives of the 80% of people in the rural area. Is this the kind of investment that would help the life of people in Solomon Islands? Or should we send, or should China, in this case, spend that money on the actual life of the people that will make the change to lift the life of the people from where they are at the moment, especially the 80% of people that are still in the rural population. Now that things have come this far, even Taiwan or even Australia and countries like that, there is need to actually involve with the people, to find appropriate ways to involve with communities. That's because that's how Solomon is made out. They are made out of communities that own tribal lands and seas. So the approach needs to go further than the government, to look at private entities that can invest in the country rather than putting all their resources at the government level, which at the moment, and has been the case, have not managed these supports well. So if Taiwan is to support and give a proper way of helping Solomon Islands, I would suggest more support in the areas of investment, technology transfer, and of course good governance. So this would be something that engage with a broader more range of actors rather than just the government. Well, at the moment, Malaita for that matter is struggling to develop itself from the tussle that we have been having with the national government. If Taiwan or other democracies, mature democracies in the world can be helpful, especially in supporting democracy in these countries, supporting ways, institutional setups, or encouraging of citizens to assert their rights as citizens of Malaita, to assert their right to say that, look, if you can help us to get the message across to the mass of the people that democracy is ours, not communism.
大纪元时报遍布全球，不受财团、政党影响，真实感言。不管是想了解国际局势、两岸议题，或者想要寓教于乐、丰富人生，您需要的都在大纪元时报。订报专线0800566688。